Just to break down the last game, how would you kind of assess it from a summary standpoint?
Well, I think, we didn't start very fast like we wanted to. That was a big emphasis last week. We're starting fast. We obviously did not do that on offense. Once we got a little spark from CJ, we were able to get some things going and starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm. And, we were in a position to go tie the game at the end. As bad as we played in the beginning and some in the middle there, we were put in a position to go either tied or win it. We had a 2-point play ready, and I was just waiting for Coach Morris when we scored to tell me to go for 2. And I know it would have worked because we saw it on film. So, I'm proud of our improvement. The last few weeks we've gotten better, but we still got a long way to go. Obviously, I said it last week, losing is not ever going to be accepted here. And, we've got to find a way when the ball's in our hands. Twice this year, I told the whole team this yesterday, it's twice this year we've had the ball in our hand to go win the game or go tie the game and we couldn't get it done. So, obviously that's going to be a huge emphasis for us, and it has been all year, is the finish. And we got to coach it in drills. We got to demand it in classwork. We got to demand it every aspect of our program is finish, and we got to do a better job of that.
Jim, what are you seeing on first down? Because we all can see the result of third down, third and long. But what's happening on first down?
Yeah, it's a bunch of different things. I know Coach Morris mentioned something to you guys about it. Me and him were up here really late last night, really breaking down our first and second down calls and what we're running. And when you break them down, I'm not going to sit up here and make excuses or talk bad about our team or anything like that. But we've got to do certain things better. And we've got to sustain things. We've got to hit the holes. We've got to do a better job of obviously gaining positive yards on first and second down to stay out of those third and long situations. I know the penalties have also cost us the last 2 games a little bit. We had a third medium the other day, had a good call on, a call that we had hit several times, with a matchup that we really liked, and we jumped off sides. And so we went to 3rd and 9, and it made it a little bit more difficult. So, our guys, they're going to continue to work, get better, and we're going to strain them on finishing their blocks, finishing the runs, and so that we, at least if we get hit for a 1 or 2 yard gain, we fall forward for another 2. And 2nd and 6 is a lot better than 2nd and 8, and it keeps you more on schedule and more ahead of the chains. And that's what we got to do a better job of.
Yeah, Joe, how encouraging was it to see O'Grady play the way he did, and how important could he be moving forward, especially with Patton out? And do you feel like maybe he's turned a corner maturity-wise? So some of the players were saying that they feel, maybe he's turned a corner in that regard.
Yeah, he has. Last week was, his best week from Monday through Saturday. And that's something that we've encouraged CJ on. That he's got to be more consistent, being that guy, being a guy more mature, like you said. And that's, his play on Saturday was a direct reflection of his week and how that led to the game. If that makes any sense. He's doing he did everything last week. He was, on the positive report at study hall. All those kind of things lead up to doing the right thing on the field. If you do the right things off the field, there's a direct correlation on the field. And I'm not ready to put him on the pedestal just yet. I'm hoping that he continues to do the right things because obviously you see what kind of a weapon he can be with the ball in his hand. So he's a guy that we've got our arm around. We're really trying to pull him through the knothole and make sure we get him to the game on Saturday and make sure he's doing all the things he's supposed to do off the field the right way so that it'll correlate on the field as well.
With Clary after snapping perfectly the week before, has that almost become a mental thing that he has to overcome? And also, is Dylan Hayes' back injury just where he can't really contribute this year?
Yeah, I'm going to let Coach Morris address Dylan, but You know, with Ty, you know, he's been working extremely hard on his snaps. You know, ever since we've started working him at center, he's had some days where he's been a little off, and we've really worked hard to try to get him back to being more consistent. Obviously, the other day wasn't very good. I mean, it was bad. Some of the snaps only got about 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. And I know that's something that I myself grabbed a dummy yesterday, hand shield, and tried to be over the top of him and come off the ball and give him a little pressure. And he got 40 snaps right there with me pre-practice. Got a good little sweat in before practice, trying to get some extra reps there. So obviously it's something that he's going to have to work on this week and get better. Last week at Auburn, you know, he had a couple that were a little wide here or there, nothing really high or low. So we're definitely going to make that a point of emphasis for him moving forward this week and see if we can't get a perfect snap every time.
Preparing for an Alabama defense, Nick Saban defense, what are kind of the overarching things that you see, what they do, and maybe a little scouting report on their talent this year?
Yeah, I don't want to disclose too much about what we're thinking, you know, in terms of what gives them trouble, but you know, they are do what they do defense. I know they've switched coordinators a lot past couple of years and all that, but you know, Coach Saban's still there. He's still heavily involved in what they do on the defensive side of football. And so, you know, we've gone back, you know, watched a whole lot of games, a whole lot of teams that have had some success against them, and kind of picking and choosing some things that we like that fit our offense that we think that could give them some problems. From a personnel standpoint, I mean, there really isn't a weak link over there. They do a really good job of recruiting, and you know, you see a guy in the Ole Miss game get beat on the first play, and they just replace him, and you know, with another good player. So you know, they're very talented. Up front, linebacker core, and in the secondary, you don't really find a weak link, but you know, the main message for our team that it is every week is it's all about the Arkansas Razorbacks. You know, we want to focus on ourselves. We believe, and we preach to our guys that, you know, the only team in the country that can beat us is our Arkansas Razorbacks. If we can't get out of our own way, you know, we can't be successful. And that's one of our main focuses this week is just to get better as a unit and continue to build on the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, Joe, I'm sorry.
Chief was kind of speaking on the progress of the team. Said defense is easier to put in, you know, as far as time it takes. And he says that their guys are trying to be encouraging to your guys, and Coach Morris has kind of built that total unity deal. Could you just speak on that? You're with Chief during games and what he does to help you and how y'all have worked together.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that this season has brought us really close as a team and as a coaching staff to this point. You know, after the second game of the season, heartbreaking loss, you know, you saw, you know, it start to splinter just a little bit, but ever since that day, you've seen our team really come together, and it's been pretty special to watch. You know, even when we're not having success, you see the love and the care, the tears being shed in the locker room after the game, because, you know, nobody wants to let their teammates down. Nobody wants to let coaches don't want to let the players down. Players don't let the coaches down. There's a really cool bond and really close unity right now in that locker room that Coach Morris has obviously done a phenomenal job of keeping those guys together and weathering the storm that we're in. And you know, even, you know, Coach Chavis, you know, him. I remember last week him putting his arm around me and looking at me and saying, "Hey, we're gonna get this thing right." And I said, "You're daggone right we are, Coach." And so for us to be together as a staff and as a team, to me, speaks volumes of what we're building and what the direction of our culture is going. And I can only see it going up from here.
When was that, Joe? Was that after a game or after practice?
Oh, it was after last week's game, after the Auburn game. Yes, sir.
Hey, Joe, I remember when you first came here, you talked about growing up in Birmingham and following Alabama football. I couldn't quite tell if you were an Alabama or Auburn fan. I think your parents were one of each. But does it mean a little extra to you to play Alabama and they're number one? Just kind of what are your emotions going into a game like this with your background?
Yeah, I mean, just like any other game, honestly, I try to treat every game the same, whether we're playing whoever, Eastern Illinois or Alabama. Each game's important for me and important for our team. I know we've got some guys from Alabama on our team, and whether it be Alabama or Auburn, or whoever we're playing, we're trying to go to win the game. There's no really extra emotion for me. I don't really have any ties to the University of Alabama other than just growing up in that state. So my focus is on the Arkansas Razorbacks and seeing if we can't put the best product on the field this Saturday and see if we can't go do something good with what we got.
So against Texas A&M, there were several times where a touchdown for them would have put the game away, but defense came in and stopped them, and they did that throughout the game. They also did that against Auburn several times. What does that do for the offense, knowing that there's a little bit of confidence there when the defense comes out that we're going to have another chance to come in and score?
It's unbelievable. Our defense is playing at a very high level. They're doing a phenomenal job creating stops and creating turnovers. And it gives us a lot of confidence too. I mean, when you're sitting there, I think there was about 3 minutes to go in the game. They got the ball. They're trying to run some clock, and I knew we were going to get the ball back. I was on the phone with on the headset with Ty, talking through some scenarios and talking through some plays, and there was no doubt that we were going to get the ball back. It was just a matter of how much time we were going to have. Whether we're going to have, I think we said either a minute 10 if they decided to run the ball, or if they decided to throw it, we'd have about a minute 50 something. So there was never a doubt in our mind that we were going to have the ball with a chance to go tie it or win it. And so it's great. It's a really good feeling to know that you work next to a guy that's done this for a very long time and is doing a phenomenal job with our kids and our players. And they'll continue to get better, and they'll obviously continue to do the great things moving forward, and it gives our offense a whole lot of confidence that, hey, if something's not working early, let's stay the course, stick to the process, play one play at a time, and that's kind of what we did the other night. We got down 17-0 and kept fighting. Had the ball back several times, down 17-10 with a chance to go tie it. Never could get that done, and then obviously they went up 2 scores, and we came right back down the field and scored again. I definitely think that our offense feeds off what our defense is doing right now.
Joe, where's Ty's story at? Did he make improvements last week?
Yeah, I think he did. I think you saw him be a little bit more comfortable and confident in the pocket. He didn't run quite as much as he did against Auburn. I think later in the game, I think maybe Texas A&M maybe wore down just a little bit. And we were able to protect Ty. He was able to stay in the pocket. I mean, he still made a couple of plays with his feet, but he's getting better every week. He's getting more confident every week. There's not a guy on our team really that, if you look at our teammates and how they've kind of rallied behind Ty, that our team doesn't want to see anybody get as much success as Ty's having, I guess is the best way to put it. For lack of better words, but our team is really rallying behind Ty. They see Ty working extremely hard. They see him watching extra film. They see him staying after practice, doing extra work to try to put our team the best chance to win. He's doing, and he's gritty. He's tough, and right now he's definitely gaining some confidence in what he's doing.
Yeah, I know taking care of the ball is always a premium, but Alabama, they feed off turnovers and pick sixes and fumble returns and all that. How big a challenge is that for you guys to make sure you not only take care of the ball, but make sure they're not getting touchdowns off turnovers?
Yeah, it's huge. Like I said, our defense is playing phenomenal. The worst thing we can do as an offense is put them in a bad spot by turning the ball over. Again, whoever we play every week, our goal is no turnovers. 100% ball security is our goal. And that's something, obviously we'll take in again this week and continue to build off what we've done and try to take care of the football. I know we had a costly turnover in the game the other night, but for the most part, we did a good job taking care of the ball, and that's why you're in the game in the fourth quarter. It's because we didn't allow just stupid things to happen and pick sixes and and fumbles and those sorts of things. So, you know, we've got to do a good job of that and continue to try to take care of the ball and have no turnovers.
That's one area.
Coach, what sort of growth have you seen from Mike Woods over the first month of the season?
You said growth at Mike Woods? A lot. I mean, he's a true freshman. He carries himself more like a junior. You know, he's matured a lot, I think, since he's got here. Obviously, he's had some trials and tribulations he's had to go through to get to this point. And the thing I'd say about Mike is, you know, we knew what we were getting in him in recruiting from a hard work standpoint, but the kid's really taken a lot of ownership in his game. He knows that he's facing some of the best corners every week, and from here on out, and he knows he's got to improve his game even more every week to be that dominant player that we want him to be, and he's doing a really good job with that.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, guys.